Welcome, everyone. We are live, and it is Monday again. Oh, you know what that means. Work, 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 right? Oh, it's Monday. Listen, I was reading last night, and the question arose: is success effortless? Well, there are some who truly believe that you gotta work hard to make things happen. Some people believe that it's who you know that'll make things happen. Some people think, man, it doesn't matter how hard you work. The way the world is set up, ain't nobody being successful. Everybody believes something different about success. But I will say this to you: as within, so without. So if you think, well, I shouldn't say think, if you believe that success comes through your hard work. We have a singer called Julie Black. By the sweat of your brow, you will eat bread. Yeah, because it's scripture. By the sweat of your brow, you will eat bread. By the sweat of your brow, you will eat bread. You know what that? It doesn't say by the sweat of anywhere else. How does one sweat on the brow? Well, sometimes my grandfather would just have to be walking and he'd be sweating. Same for my father. They just have to think hot and they sweat. By the sweat of your brow, you will eat bread does not necessarily mean that you are in the field, plowing the fields all day and you're slaving away. What's at the brow? Besides where we put our Botox, but that's a different story. Where's the brow? Where your brain is, where your thoughts are. By the sweat of your brow, people. The brow. Meaning, get your thoughts right. It's all in a matter of how one interprets these things. Because I'm telling you, I know people who just have to think about being hot and they sweat. They don't have to exert anything, but they sweat. So, you don't have to believe me. But what you might want to consider, there's a saying when they say work smarter, not harder. Yeah, right? Oh my God, uh, who said it? He said he'd hire a lazy man because a lazy man would figure out how to get it done using less. It's not a lazy man. It is a man of imagination, a man who sees within his mind's eye. Oh, Angela, you lost me today. You start talking about the sweat of your brow that I don't have to work hard. Listen, comprehend what I'm saying to you. It is not that you don't work hard. Because let me tell you something, when I'm washing these floors, that's not easy. When I'm walking the garbage out to the back, that's not easy. When I'm typing away at the computer, shoot, there's something I'd rather be doing. Something else I'd rather be doing. But here's how it happens. We are governed by what we believe ourselves to be. If you think, I know my grandfather said, if I work hard, you'll have to work a lot less hard. So he believed that he was the one to bear the brunt of things so that his children would have an easier life. Okay? So that's what he believed. Thus, as within, so without. Okay? As within, so without. But I know how challenging it is to hear that success can quite possibly be effortless. When we think of effort, we think of you can do it, put your back into it, right? Or the elbow grease. We think that it's a lot of physical grunting and hard work. Not necessarily. The man of imagination who looks at his life and says, There is an easier way to do this. But I know if I say an easier way, a lot of people say, oh, really? The easy way. What would my mother say? The road to hell is broad. The road to hell is broad, let me tell you. Right? That's because we perceive effort as backbreaking. Yeah, that's what we perceive effort to be. But what if effort was actually taking the time to know what one wants to become? If you take the time to know what you want to become, you have planted a seed and it will only mature in the only way that it can. Roses only become roses. You don't plant tulips and get roses. So if you think the way of success is hard work, who you know, the luck of the draw, as within, so without. It is what you believe, so it is what you will experience. But if some, no, I know some people who say, man, shit just comes easy to me. I don't have to struggle for nothing. What do you think happens in their life? Stuff comes easy to them and they don't have to struggle. As within, so without. What you believe of yourself, what you hold true of success, is what you have to experience of success. Why? Because if it didn't happen in that way, you'd be a liar. And you'd be saying, see, this don't work. That's not true. I think that life is a struggle and this shit's just coming too easy. Something must be wrong. Or if you're out here in these streets thinking that, you know, money can't buy happiness, I shouldn't want riches. I shouldn't want peace of mind. I should just wake up today and not know where anything is coming from. Said no one ever. But if you get into your mind's eye, because clearly you want to know how to change your mind, right? How did you start to come to believe that success takes a lot of work? Well, you heard it over and over and over and over, and thus you believe it. And if I say now to you, well, there's quite possibly a smarter way of doing this, you're going to fight me and talk about, what you want. Oh, I'm going to have to pay you for you to show me how easy it is. You will look at me with the side eye of skepticism. But not once will you ask yourself, I wonder if I changed my mind, if she could quite possibly be right. Now, it's not about me being right. I don't care to be right. I just care to get it done. It's not about being right. None of us gets out of bed and go, well, bring on the hard work today. Not one of us. So inside of us somewhere, we know that there is something easier. But because we have easier associated with somehow deceiving, then we don't do it. We hold ourselves back. It's not that you doubt that success can be effortless. You don't doubt it. You just believe that hard work pays off. I'm not sitting here telling you that you don't have to do work. When I load the washer, the machine allegedly washes clothes. But shirt collars come out looking a hot mess. But I digress. But still, it washes, right? I don't have to wash the clothes. The machine washes the clothes. I load and unload. And then I load the dryer, turn it on, and I unload the dryer, and then I fold. Oh my God, such hard work. Let me tell you something. Growing up in Barbados, I had to learn how to wash my school uniforms. Oh, I sure did. And not only know how to wash them and hang them out on the line, they had pleats. So I needed to know how to iron. Ironing. Whoo! I tell you, that's as close to hell as anybody can get. The heat, oh Lord. Why? Because those pleats must be steamed and be crisp and sharp. And I had to learn how to iron my grandfather's work pants. Now that had a crease, you know. That edge down the middle had to be so sharp you could cut your finger on it. Oh, I had to learn. That is hard work. Yes, it is. So I'm not telling you that you don't actually have to put forth effort. I'm saying to you, the brunt of your effort is mental. The brunt of your effort is mental, which means what? It means you've got to sit there and decide what you want to become. When you go out to the yard, I've got the kitchen blinds open, and there's this vine that usually just, and it's so beautiful when it blossoms, yeah? The most beautiful indigo flowers I've ever seen. Now it just looks a hot mess. It's all withered and dry and crunchy. Ugh. I'm gonna have to go and trim that back. Then again, if I leave it, it will do wonders. How do you think that occurred? It wasn't always a vine growing there. Somebody sat there and in their mind's eye looked out into the yard and said, what do I want to plant to make these things look beautiful? And somebody sat there and thought about it for quite some time. And after they knew what they wanted, then they acted. Why? Because it saves energy to know what you want. It saves energy, it saves time, it saves resources to plan. But where does one plan? One plans mentally. This is where we plan. We plan mentally. So when you plan mentally, it means you've taken the time to decide what you want to become. And when you say, well, I can see it now in my mind's eye, what I want to become. Didn't Jim Carrey say it? He was out there looking out on the bridge and he knew he wanted to be an actor and he saw it in his mind's eye. And then from there, opportunities presented themselves. Opportunities will always present themselves along the lines of who you say you want to be. How else will you recognize it as an opportunity if you didn't have it in mind? Let that sink in. I saw this man on Instagram and he was talking and then he would say, he would open up a door and there would be a pedestal sink standing right there. He goes, let that sink in. That was the funniest thing I've seen. But it made you think, it made you ponder. An opportunity will present itself for you if you know what you want to become. Or else, how will you recognize it as an opportunity for you to take advantage of if you have no thought in mind of that being what you want to use and to become? So the work is mental. Some of us write, some of us speak, some of us draw. You see, this is what gives birth to a vision board. But we got it backwards. We think if we build the vision board, that will happen. No, you have to know what you want to become in order to breathe life into the vision board as you build it. The vision board is just an inanimate object that you put pictures on. That's it. But it is your belief in the fact that, if I put this here and I look at this every day, all of this is going to come to pass. That is what makes it come to pass, not just building a vision board. A vision board takes thought. You have to know what you want to experience so you can see the images, cut them out, and paste them. But between the cutting out and the pasting, there is a bridge. It is called, I believe in what I am going to look at here, that it will come to pass. Or you can cut out as many pictures as you want and stick them wherever you want. But if you do not believe in the very act of what you are doing, Well, then, what is the point? You see, we keep thinking there's a technique. Don't sweat the technique, right? We keep thinking there's a technique. The way creation works is not a technique. The way creation works, that is its grand design. Somebody sat and thought about it. This is what I am. I am that I am. And it said, I will determine who I want to become. So that what I say I am is what I have to be on the outside. Why? Because I'm always going to be moving. I can't sit still. I'm young and I'm restless. And as I move from where I started to where I'm going. Always a destination. And the way I move is going to be very predictable. Because that's got to show me that I'm on the right track. So it creates a rhythm which will cause me to do the thing I want to do to bring about the effect of who I say I am. And then finally, oh, look, I will generate an idea and put it out into the world so I can start with who I am all over again. That is what happened. How can you be so sure, Angela? Because look at the evidence. The evidence would suggest that somebody thought about it. But they didn't just think about it, they believed it with every fiber of their being. So when you sit and you imagine, or as Neville Goddard would say, when you rest in a state akin to sleep, the state akin to sleep is only as good as what you believe to be true about it. That is the sweat on your brow. To sit there and to reason and say, what do I want to become? Well, I want to become this. And you have that thing in your mind's eye of what you want to become. And the moment you believe that it is possible and that it is true, how else would you have conjured it up in your mind's eye if you didn't think it was possible? But you see, we are sometimes afraid to believe in our own imaginal acts. Oh, yeah. Sometimes we are afraid to believe in our very imaginal acts. Do you realize it is yours? Well, Angela, some people say when you imagine you only give it to yourself. Well, yeah. Who's the one imagining it? You. So of course, if you are imagining it, you are giving it to yourself. But to receive it, you've got to accept that you believe it's true. I heard a woman, a very popular woman, say that you only gotta get like uh what were her words again? Something about 80%. And she said, well, then you're guaranteed 100. I said, you put out 80, you getting 80 back, because that's the principle of rhythm. This is what it means if you have faith the size of a mustard seed. As within, so without. So if your faith is the size of a mustard seed, the thing that you see on the outside has to be mustard. In other words, if your faith is a little shaky, the thing you experience will be a little shaky, because they always have to match. They always have to match. And you know I don't like surprises. No, thank you. And that's why I tell you there aren't any surprises when you're dealing with the principles. The principles clearly tell you who you are is what you will encounter. Oh, let there be light, and there was. That little light came on just as I said that. Now I'm the neighbor with the light on. Oh, shoot. But who you say you are, when you say, I am that I am, would you not be surprised if you were not? Well, shoot, that probably stopped my heart. Like, whoa, whoa, that's not who. Something is amiss. So success effortless. Yes, it is. How so? The moment you decide, I am that, I am, you must believe that you are. Now, when you believe that you are, you embody it. I saw the movie Uncharted last night with, Tom Holland. Oh. Now, all I could see was Spider-Man because he does parkour, and so he had to do all of these tricks and things, and I was like, "Oh my God, how did he restrain himself from doing the Spider-Man thing with the web? How did he?" I'd love to ask him because I'm telling you, I'm watching him and I'm like, "Dude, I can feel Spider-Man." The way he would move through things, jump here and swinging on the cargo from the plane, and I was like, "But that's totally Spider-Man." He had to embody a new role. He had to believe himself to be it. How else would he convince you that he was when you watched him on the big screen? Well, you and I are the actors of our lives on the big screen. And so you rehearse the role. This is how one embodies when you say, "Well, I am that." I got out of my car the other day and I put my purse over my arm and I said, "If I was a bad mama jamma, how would I walk into this place?" That's all I said to myself. And who I got out of the car. My little Yaris is gray. It's black, right? But it's gray because I haven't washed it. In this weather, you crazy. But that's a different story. I got out of my dirty little Yaris. And I said, I whispered to myself, "Ooh, you are a dirty girl." And I said, "As within, so without." And I got out and I had a good laugh. But my whole attitude changed because I said, "Ooh, how would I walk into this space?" And that's how I walked into the space. But you don't just walk into the space one day. You carry the attitude and you persistently walk in it every day. Because sooner rather than later, somebody said in the Neville Goddard forum that I am banned from, but that's another story. Uh, they said that there's a contradiction, that everything has its appointed hour. How can everything have its appointed hour when I can manifest anything I want? And I thought to myself, clearly you didn't sit and think about this. You did not sit and think about this at all. Polarity tells you you and I are always moving from where we are to where we are going, which tells you there is a space from to point of origin to destination. There's a space. From conception to birth is a space. It doesn't mean that the thing is delayed. It means it is unfolding in its own rhythm. But you see, because we do not comprehend, this is why we struggle. I'm talking from experience here. I know what it is to have to. Do I get this? Do I even understand? Because if I understood, I would not be in this situation right now. Oh, I say that to myself a lot. If I understood, then I wouldn't be in this predicament. And then I have to remind myself, are you busy planting those seeds and reaping that harvest? Or are you turning back to look at something else? What are you giving your attention to? What you give your attention to is what you continually relive. That's great, Angela, but we have 10 minutes. I got to go to work. So tell me how to do it. Step one, know what you want to become. That is step one. Nowhere in there is it asking you about your mother's opinion. It's not asking you about anybody's opinion. It's not asking you if it is possible. It is not asking you if you're doing it right. It is not asking you how long is it going to take. It is asking you, what do you want to become? But wait, let me be gentle. Because sometimes when I play the replay back, I'm like, "Ooh, girl, you sound like an angry black woman." Yes. Let me be a lady. She's a lady. Oh, 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 she's a lady, right? What do you want to become? Hmm? What do you want to become? That is the question. Take your time as you answer it. Notice I said, I didn't ask you if you think it was possible. Let me put it another way. What do you want to see growing in your garden? Hmm? What do you want to see growing in the garden of your life? Roses, tulips, carnations, dandelions? Hmm? Choose your flower. The flower is who you say you want to become. Yes? Now that you have selected your flower, can you see the garden in full bloom? Hmm? Can you see it in full bloom so you can say, ooh, you know what? These big, beautiful roses would look good over here, and these ones would look good over here. Yeah, I can see it in my mind's eye. And you begin to shuffle it around in your mind's eye until the picture in your mind's eye makes you say, that's exactly how I want my garden to look. Oh my God, it's awesome. And when you have done that, there is a feeling that arises in your bosom. And it says, what a relief. The hard part is out of the way. I know exactly what the garden's going to look like. So I got some weeds out here. I got to go pluck these things and make way. I got to prepare for this garden. Hmm? And so you get out there and you prepare. Yes, because you have selected the seeds and you know how good it feels. Step 3, immerse yourself in that feeling. What feeling? The way the garden looks in your mind's eye. Because you are out there weeding and hoeing and plucking and turning topsoil and getting the fertilizer and all the nitrogen that the plants need, the roses need, and you make sure that you got all those things in your shed. Yes? And for the garden shed, you got all the tools. You've got everything you need out there. But how did you get it out there? Everything that you put together in the external came about because of the image you saw in your mind and the way you worked that garden in your mind's eye. So now the work that you do on the outside is going to match what you said on the inside. So all the work you do on the outside is not in vain. It is matching the design on the inside. So as within, so without. That is what you are now doing. So you see, if you did not work out the garden in your mind's eye, if the architect did not sit there and draw the plans for the house, how in the Sam Hill is he going to know what to build? How far down is he going to dig the foundation? He wouldn't know because he has no image of which to draw from. And do you know what keeps him going and getting the team together with the bulldozer and the cement finishers and all the rebar wire? Do you know what keeps him going? The image he's holding in his mind's eye and the feeling of completion that he has. Because every time he rolls out the plans, he goes, oh, yeah, baby, coming along nicely. We are only ever following and acting that which is within. Yeah, Angela, I get it for the architect, but what's that mean about my life? What are you presently looking at? What is your present situation? That is going to show you the plans you have drawn in your mind's eye. You got a lot of strife and hardship out there, well, then there's a lot of strife and struggle in the mind's eye. So you're going to have to take the time now and sit there. What do I want to become? Because I'm tired of fighting on the outside. I'm tired of being Celia. I think it was Celia. All my life I had to fight. I'm tired of being that. Why gotta keep fighting for? Because you keep seeing fight. You keep holding the fight in your mind's eye. You keep holding joblessness in your mind's eye. How dare you, Angela, tell me I'm holding joblessness in my mind's eye? Have you seen the market? Ain't nobody hiring. Aha! You see the words that are coming out of your mouth? Ain't nobody hiring. What are you holding on to? Joblessness. But what if you would say to yourself, listen, let me tell you something. There's a job. And here's the job I see in my mind's eye with the pay and everything and the benefits. Here's everything I see in my mind's eye about that job. And ain't nobody can tell me that it's not possible. Nobody can come along and tell me, girl, ain't nobody hiring. Have you seen AI is taking over and that's doing everybody's job? Look at Amazon just closed a whole bunch of plants in Quebec. See, ain't nobody hiring. Hmm. Will you be a man of sense? Or will you be a man of imagination? Because as a man of sense, you must see what you have to see. But as a man of imagination, you see what you want to see. So if that ideal job, and you know what it is, and you see it in your mind's eye, and you believe that it is possible, well, then you think somebody can stop you. Can't nobody break my stride. Nobody gonna slow me down. Oh no. Nope, they can't. Because you are driven by the image within. You are driven by the success and the belief of the image within. But if you make the excuse, and let me tell you, I got a PhD in excuses, so I know that which I speak of. So step one, what do you want to become? Step two, can you see it in your mind's eye? And as you see it in your mind's eye, work it out there. Measure twice and cut once. That was the power that Nikola Tesla actually held. He could build a thing in his mind and make it run in his mind. And when something broke, he would fix it in his mind so that when he was done working all the bugs out, he built it and it was flawless. Because he believed in what he was doing in his mind's eye. But that's our problem. We don't believe what we do in our mind's eye. What we say? Well, you plan, but you expect the worst, right? I said, what now? That's what we do. We contradict ourselves, and that's where the struggle comes from, the contradiction. You are struggling to be in alignment because unnaturally we hold ourselves out of alignment. That's where the struggle is. The thing is there and it says, well, all things are possible. You can see it in your mind's eye. Well, then it is done. But we look at it and go, no, it's not. It's not on the outside, so it's not done. I still got to put it together. But what we don't understand is we are always in alignment. The struggle comes when we try to force ourselves out of alignment. How so? Because the image in your mind or in your bosom, in your heart, then, that you believe, you will always see what you believe. You cannot contradict that. So it is up to you and I today. What is it that you say you want to become? You either need to believe that or you need to believe it. But don't sit there and say, yeah, but, because then the thing that you do believe is the thing you will continually experience. And then we will have the audacity to open up our mouths and say, you see, I told you so. That's what we'll say day in and day out. All the while not knowing that we are the cause. Oh, yeah, but that was my mother. We are the cause. When I was a child, I spake as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. Right? We have to put away childish things. We have to put away the childish way we believe things. Well, it happened to me back in the day, so I hold on to it and I believe it now. Yes, I know, because it is a neurological pathway set down in your brain from your childhood. But we are not prisoner to our childhoods. We are not prisoner to our childhoods. How can I be so sure? Well, we have mirror neurons. And our mirror neurons tell you, well, whatever you're looking at, child, you're going to become it. You keep looking at it, you'll become it. That's what mirror neurons tell us. You keep doing a particular thing, you will become it. That's what mirror neurons say. So tell me again how we're held prisoner. Hmm. Well, the way to enslave is the way to free. It's one and the same. The way to enslave is the way to free. How is that? I am that. I am. You declare yourself to be a prisoner. It is only mentally that you are a prisoner. But you declare yourself free. Well, then you have to be free. So the way to enslave is the way to set yourself free. Mentally. Why? Because as within, so without. But you must believe it. We get stuck in the brambles of how. I don't know how the rose becomes a bloody rose. I don't know. I just know that it does. And when I smell it, I know what it is. That's what I'm supposed to be concerned with. What do you want to become? Experience and imagination what you would be doing if you were that. In other words, rehearse your role. Let that just be your job. Rehearse the role, and you will encounter the opportunities that you can work by the sweat of your brow. That's what you'll do. But remember, the architect is only following the layout that he put down on the paper. That's all he's doing. We cannot see the origin of it. We just see him draw and sketch it out on the draft board. That's all we see. And then we see the house at the end. That house didn't just get there by chance. Somebody had to work very hard to dig the foundation and put the posts in for the fence and pour the concrete and blah, blah, blah. That was hard work. That was hard work. Yes. But do you know what made it easy? He had a plan in his mind's eye that he believed, and that is what he followed. So today, my beautiful friends, choke on that, Angela. That's what I'm trying to tell myself. And I'm saying it to you. Know what you want to become without hesitation. Don't fret about, well, how am I going to become it? I didn't ask you how. The principle of rhythm tells you there's only one way to become it. This thing has a pattern in the way it unfolds. So just choose the thing and the pattern unfolds and you follow along and do it. But I can't believe that. Well, here's how one learns to believe. Faith comes by hearing. So every day I will get up and I will tell you and I will tell myself until such time where you tip the scale mentally and you move from where you are in that state of unbelief to the state of belief. Well, let's get the chime. Let me get the chime. You might not get chicken this morning because I left him. He didn't crow yet for the morning, but he has been hugged and kissed plenty. So you're not going to hear that because he's still upstairs. But as you hear the chime this morning, make a decision. Will you believe in the image that you hold within your mind's eye? Or will you hold it there and have it taunt you? And it's not there taunting you, you know. It's there saying, I know you want me. Well, then believe me. Believe as, and it is done. That's what it's saying to you. It's not making fun of you. It's saying, I know you want this. I know you want to become it. But if you don't believe it, how can you? If you don't believe it, then it doesn't exist. But once you do, an assumption though false, if persisted and will harden into fact. Oh Lord, sorry y'all, fan base. I just scrolled. Hang on. Hang on. Let's get the chime. And I might need some assistance. Burnt and Miss McQueen. Let me know if you can. And when I come back with the chime, I'll love some assistance. Miss Tiffany, let's go. I see you here on Twitter. I see you both here on Twitter. Shea Butter, the better man. I see you here on YouTube. Who's kicking it with us on Fanbase this morning? As always, the lovely Miss McQueen, Burnt Skillet, Oracle Tree House, Amen, Casey, Moon, and Dolphin Duck, my lovely Casey, Amelie, Michelle, uh, Mr. Mr. Hawkins World. Hello, welcome to the space. Thick Owl. Oh, Belinda. Janice. Welcome to the space, my beautiful friends. Thank you for joining me today. Really and truly, you could have started your morning off any old how, but you came here today. And so, with that, I am truly grateful. And I say to you, my beautiful friends, go forth this day and believe. Hello, believe. I believe in every drop of rain that falls, a flower grows. Hello. But that's another day. So don't let me hold you up. But tonight we have the bowl and the chimes for meditation. Yes. The usual time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, fan base. This is where we shall be tonight to meditate every Monday. And I look forward to seeing you if you want to fall asleep with us, as you meditate. That's fine. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Much love to each and every one of you. I'll see you tonight, Miss Tiffany, and say hello to my sweet Javion for me, shall you? Twitter is closed. Shea Butter, the better man, thank you for being here. I do love you. Enjoy your day.